You're gonna make me revisit one of the
Dum,
worst nights of my
dum.
life, sitting at the Bernabeu, and then walking home at 1 a.m. with literally the Netherlands on my subway home, and then literally the Netherlands on
Oh,
my plane back. And
yo,
literally the Bernabeu was the Netherlands as well. Might as well have played that game in Amsterdam.
there you go. So that finished 4-1.
Yeah.
So that was 2 seasons ago, and there's hope, is all I'm saying. There's hope, boys. There's hope, boys. This all this amazing defense talk is what didn't seem the case 2 seasons ago against Ajax. Now, Atalanta is obviously not Ajax. Atalanta is sitting in fifth, I believe it is, in the Serie A. But look, there's a chance, I guess. There's a chance where Atalanta does, maybe stun Real Madrid at home in the Bernabeu. Maybe they don't need a 4 goal margin. Obviously, I'm just going over seeing what is next. The domestic fixtures for both Atalanta and Real Madrid. Now, Real Madrid is playing 3 games
Mm-hmm.
until they face Atalanta again. Excuse me. Atalanta plays 4. Atalanta is going to play Sampdoria, Crotone, Inter, and then Spezia. Now the big one, obviously, here being Inter. I'm gonna assume that Atalanta will, kind of write that one off as an L, maybe a draw. I don't know. I mean, they're not really in the title fight. Obviously, they want the Champions League spot. They're looking, they're eyeing that 4th spot, which Roma has at the moment. But more interestingly, perhaps, is Real Madrid's schedule. So you guys are facing Real Sociedad home, always tough. Then after that, it's Atletico away, usually a walk in the park for you guys. And then you face the almighty Elche at home. But, 2 of the 3 fixtures are certainly un hueso grande, a big bone, as they say in Spanish.
Uh, can we go back to the Atalanta Ajax comparison for a sec?
Okay, yeah, go.
First of
Rewind.
all, like
Yeah.
I know you said like Atalanta can stun. I honestly don't think it would be that stunning if Atalanta beat Real Madrid. Maybe to some people it would
Mm.
be, but I
Mm.
think if the people who have been watching Real Madrid play regularly for a while, including the Atalanta first leg, wouldn't be stunned if Real
Mm-hmm.
Madrid lost that game. The other thing is just to go over the differences between Ajax and Atalanta. That Ajax team was unbelievable, and
Phenomenal, yeah.
it's kind of sad that they since then they've been kind of picked apart, not overnight, but gradually. And
Mm-hmm.
it would have been cool to see that team stick together for a few years. Obviously, we know that that's not possible or feasible for a club like that because they're ultimately a selling club. But that Ajax team was incredible, and that first leg that Real Madrid won 2-1, they really had no business winning. Like
Yes,
they
agree.
got outrun, outplayed,
Mm-hmm.
pressed into like losing the ball over and over again,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to remember how they scored. Yes, there was an Asensio game winner in that game, and then there was I think
That was the one. Yeah, you're
that
right.
was the
Exactly.
one because I wasn't
Yeah.
there something about his celebration in that game too. He was stirring some pancakes or
Yes,
something. Remember?
because he was. Yeah, because his parents come from Rotterdam, I believe. So he's actually a Feyenoord supporter, or
Mm,
his Dutch family is. Yeah,
yeah.
it was
Uh,
something along those lines.
Vinicius
Yeah.
had a good play to set up Benzema in that game to make it one to score also. So that game was incredibly difficult that first leg, and that was also the famous game if you remember when Ramos intentionally gets booked and then
Right. That's right.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
admits it. If he hadn't admitted it in the post game press conference, then maybe he wouldn't have gotten suspended. But he admits it, so he gets suspended. And then he missed the second leg, films his documentary, and that was the night I was there, and it was
Oh, that's
literally, I
right.
felt like I
The
was in
Amazon
hell.
thing.
Like if there's hell, it's that. It was that night. It was terrible.
That was quite something. That was quite something. Now the good thing as well, in Atalanta's favor is of course they play a similar style of football, so could potentially cause some troubles for Ajax's backline. And not comparing again to Atalanta that we saw last season, but it's a similar style of football. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, to a less extreme degree and less not. It's almost a poor man's Ajax from 2 years ago. It's not as good, but
Right.
yeah.
Of
But
course.
the other thing is like they had weird. Atalanta was also weird in this game. That's the other thing. Like when you said Real Madrid didn't deserve to win, I would just push back and say maybe a fair result would have been a draw, but Atalanta certainly
Draw.
didn't do anything either. Now, obviously, part of that was because they went down to 10 men. I also think the second leg will be more difficult for a couple other reasons. One is that Zapata, who left the field due to injury in that game, if he plays in the second leg, I mean, when he left, basically their attack went with it, and Muriel was way too isolated to do anything. The other weird thing was the whole Ilicic thing, which I'm not still clear about why he was subbed on and then subbed off. And I'm assuming he'll be there from the start, and Atalanta will be up for it, and I think that'll be tricky to deal with. So we all know what happens, by the way, when you concede a goal at home in the second leg, and then there's always that anxiety about conceding the second one, because once you concede the second one, you're facing two-way goals. That's really difficult to overcome. And the other thing is, I'm just thinking back, Diego, to all the times that Real Madrid have won the first leg and have been so uncomfortable in the second leg. So I'm thinking about. By the way, like when you asked me when was the last time Real Madrid won away, I literally went way too far back because I just remember two obvious ones. One is that we beat Bayern in Munich 2-1. And that was another game that Asensio scored the game winner, I think. And then the second one went to extra time. The second leg did. Bloodbath. Real Madrid squeaked through. And the other one was, of course, Ronaldo's bicycle kick in Turin against Juve, where your favorite game is when they went back to the Bernabeu, went down 3-0, and the most clear penalty of all time in the last minute. So there was actually quite a bit of these. So if any Real Madrid fans think that they're in the clear, just go back to those examples I just mentioned. This is far from over.